Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. All right, so I wanted to give my review of the 2021 version of Candyman. Um, Not quite a sequel, but not quite a reboot. It does mention the events of what happened in the original 1992 film starring Tony Todd and Virginia Madsen. If I'm not mistaken, she did some voiceovers for the film, but nevertheless, this movie takes place in modern time, pretty much. Now, keep in mind, this movie was supposed to come out in 2020, but it takes place in 2019. But fair enough, not really a big deal. The movie was actually filmed in Chicago, and it tells the continuing story of Candyman. Basically. A man that was wrongfully murdered. This particular Candyman isn't so much about the character Tony Todd played. This is about a homeless man who roamed the Cabrini Green projects in Chicago, and basically he had a hook on his hand. Now, what happened was he was wrongfully murdered by Chicago's finest because they thought that he put a razor blade in some candy and it hurt a little white girl or killed her or whatever the case may be. So they just automatically assumed it was him and they beat him to death. And basically, he seeked his revenge on anybody that would call his name 5 times. Now, it had also, the lead character is a struggling artist and he's stung by a bee, but instead of his, hand healing, his hand starts to deform as well of most of his entire body. But then he goes sees his mother and she tells him, what pretty much is going on. But nevertheless, I want you to see the movie. It has a couple of surprises in it, to say the least, but it's a really well did movie. I'm proud of the job that Jordan Peele did writing the script, and Nia DaCosta did directing the film. She did an excellent job. This movie has a running time of 2 hours on the dot, but it goes by pretty quick. Real solid, good movie. Jordan Peele is nailing it, and I do like the racial elements of it. But on the side note, I gotta keep it 100. The original Candyman, whose name was Daniel, basically, to make a long story short, he paid a stiff price for basically swirling and messing with his employer's daughter. So that's basically what it come down to. The original Candyman was a swirler, and he paid a stiff price for it. But I've talked about this racial element with the double standard when it comes to a black man being involved with a white woman versus a black woman being involved with a white man. But nevertheless, I like the racial element that it had, breaking down some things. So I thought that was pretty clever how they put that in. Now, something else I didn't like, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, but once again, I'm kind of getting tired of them pushing the alphabet agenda in these movies, because they do have a character who happens to be black, who is part of the alphabet community, and he is a swirler. So, that seemed to be something that a lot of these black female directors seem to be putting in their TV projects, something that they're initiating and pushing strongly. But nevertheless, I can overlook it. I'm not gonna let that. I'm not gonna let that overall affect my opinion of the movie. I thought it was a great movie, and yeah, there's a lot of violence in this movie. So it's a lot of slashing in this movie. I think it's enough homicides in this movie to keep you satisfied. So, it's not, I can tell you more than 2 people got the business in this movie, and I'll just leave it at that. But I highly recommend this movie. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this movie a 8. So that's it. This your boy Town Biz. I'm out.